Daily Mail, chaos in Oregon as armed Trump supporters and alt-right Proud Boys clashed with black looter mobs. Multiple people arrested as fights break out between demonstrators after a huge MAGA rally drove from Portland suburbs to Salem. Got to push back on them. The Proud Boys are not alt-right. They are not far-right. This is actually false. Never was true. No, Proud Boys they started from the person who started Vice News. You know, the far left news organization. It was Gavin McInnes. And it started as a joke. And the guy was like, yeah, we're going to like start like some group to fight these Antifa people called the Proud Boys from the Disney movie. It was like a joke. Didn't have any intention of starting a group. And then people thought it was funny. And then people started actually fighting the far left under the brand of Proud Boys. And then over time, there was some people who were far right who were in the group, but they aren't like heads of the group. And the reality of it is that they're called far right because they're fighting the far left. And that's insane. So the United States fought Nazi Germany in World War II. And we also fought in Korea and Vietnam. So we fought the far right and we fought the far left. That does not make America far right. That would be insane. There's no truth to that at all. Proud Boys, you have to go off of what the website says and the vibe that you get from it. Okay, so if you go to like some, what was that thing I looked up from that Brennan Center article? There was that, it was about the article about the white supremacists infiltrating law enforcement from the Brennan Center for Justice. And in that, there was some organization that they were saying is a white nationalist, like a KKK organization. And I did look them up, and I looked at their website. Definitely looked KKK. I mean, of course, they didn't say anything KKK on there, but it was obviously a super sketchy white nationalist, like a real white nationalist. Hold on. White nationalism has evolved over the years. It used to just mean that you think that America has a white identity, and black people or even white nationalists because they act like a lot of black people act white. So when you say white nationalist, it doesn't mean the same thing to everybody. So like a black guy who lives out in the country who acts like a white dude and likes all the white guys, and then doesn't support illegal immigration because he thinks it causes the immigrants to take over. That dude is technically a white nationalist, but it's kind of morphed into just a negative, bad thing about KKK. So that's where it is. That's what it is. Say that's what the definition is now. But you can tell from the look of the site, like, okay, they might not be saying anything KKK, but they obviously seem like they're like KKK, right? Proud Boys don't come off like that. Proud Boys come off like those 3%er guys. They're like some people who are like, you know, they don't like the far left. And like maybe they're like this dude. Okay. I don't know too much about him. We got a story about him coming up. Oh, wait, no, this is it. Let's watch it. I'm just going to read further here in the bullet points before we get down. At least 2 Trump supporters were arrested in Salem, Oregon at the end of the procession. The Trump supporters, including members of the far right, the right-wing Proud Boys. See, they're saying alt-right Proud Boys, but now they're saying right-wing Proud Boys. They know Proud Boys aren't alt-right. They know that. But in Europe, they have these, hold on. Honestly, I think that in Europe, well, they have a hate speech ban. And so you can't say some things there, but then we say that this is like a European term, but then you go over to Europe and then the people are like, no, that's not how it is here. And then they'll explain, oh, no, we're just against the hate speech because we don't want genocides, whatever. And we're trying to be, not racist. But when you look at the definitions, it does look like there's another party messing with Wikipedia. It definitely looks as though the Chinese Nazi Party might be tampering with Wikipedia. And that's the reason why these people are getting called far right, is because Wikipedia says that. But we also have elements in our country that do that. We do have radicalized people who are right in line with the Chinese Nazi Party propaganda. The Trump supporters, including members of the right-wing Proud Boys, fired paintballs at black looter mob and were led away by police. The rally had begun on Monday afternoon to show Oregon's continued support for Donald Trump, the king of memes. It came a week after previous caravan ended with the death of a Patriot Prayer militia member. He was a militia member? That's the first time I've heard that one. I've covered this story a number of times. I've never heard that he was a militia member. Patriot Prayer is a militia? Patriot, that's like Joey Gibson. He's like a preacher. These guys are like just some country dudes who are like 2A supporters. I would not call them a militia. I don't know where this came from. If you know where this came from, if you could comment down below, or realsimplenews.net/issue 106. Aaron J. Danielson, 39, was shot in the downtown Portland area on August 29th as Trump supporters and black looter mobs fought. On Thursday, police fatally shot Michael Forrest Rainiel, 48, Danielson's suspected killer and an Antifa supporter. Here we can see the original image from the thumbnail. And just in case you're wondering, that dude over there is Tim Sweeney with the red shirt. He does the Unreal Engine Fortnite. The guy who does Fortnite. That guy has earned my respect. Actually, I think he's on the right side. I think the Fortnite people are the good people. Here's the state capitol building of Oregon. It's very beautiful. It is run by insanely corrupt Democrats that we need to remove from office. They have done a horrible job. Almost everything that these people have done has been nightmarishly horrible. We need to get them out of office immediately before they fuck everything up. We don't have a COVID outbreak here, but they're making people wear masks. 1 in 10 people 11% of people in America have recently seriously contemplated killing themselves because of the pandemic, lockdown, and the masks. And they canceled our schools. So our kids have been suffering, and then we never had a COVID outbreak. So they did it preemptively so they could show you how good of a job they're doing. And this is why the Democrats suck so much. By showing you how good of a job, quote unquote, good of a job they're doing by locking you down and muzzling you with a mask, making you want to kill yourself for no reason. Because the vast majority of people who die from COVID are 45% of the people who die from COVID are in end-of-life care. They're in the old folks' home. This is why there's so much higher of a percentage of young people showing up at the ER, being hospitalized, is because most of the people who die from COVID are in old folks' homes or in end-of-life care. And what they've done with this mask mandate is completely illegal. They are preventing you from engaging in free speech on private property if you do not have a mask. And they're so when it says in the Constitution that you cannot abridge the right to free speech, that means you cannot actually abridge it. And if you do, you have to present clear and convincing evidence. This is the evidentiary level that is set in order to deprive citizens of their fundamental federally protected rights. But they don't. So when they say it's clear and convincing that you need to wear a mask, they would say, we've done studies and we show that when you wear masks, that a lower percentage of people die. Right. But then you look at the statistics of who's dying, and 71% of the people who died from COVID or who tested positive for COVID, hold on. 71% of the people who tested positive for COVID wore masks everywhere. Okay, so if 71% of the people who tested positive for COVID wore masks everywhere, can you explain exactly to me how it is supposed to be that wearing a mask is supposed to help me? The answer to that is that most people get COVID. About half the cases of COVID, people get it before, or they pass it on before they know that they're sick. It comes out of your breath, and it goes mainly into people's nostrils. And so initially you would think, oh, well, you look at the droplet studies and you spray some droplets out, and then you could see that you get 98% fewer. Here's a Salem cops trying to break up a fight between Proud Boys and Black Looter Mob.
Stay back! Now! Back up! I don't care if it's dangerous or not, just stay back. Stop! Break it up! What are you doing? Break it up. Put that down! Put that down! I didn't tell you, put that down!
I have to finish the droplet study thing. So you're like, okay, you look at the studies and you think, well, it blocks out 98% of the droplets, right? When you wear a mask. So that means that we should make everybody wear a mask, right? Because that's going to make less people die or get COVID. This is what they think. They think they're going to stop people from getting COVID, and then that's going to stop you from dying. No. Preventing people from getting COVID isn't going to make them prevent them from dying from COVID. I made ventilators, open source ventilators. I know a lot about COVID, and I know a lot about your immune system, how it works. And this is how it works, is when you have too much of the virus at once, it can cause SARS. It can cause your body to start attacking healthy cells because you've never had this disease before, so it can't get the right chemical signature. So the best thing for you to do is actually to minimize your viral load when you get sick, because you're eventually going to get sick, and the vaccines are going to be about maybe 50% effective. This is the problem. It's going to mutate so many times that the vaccines won't be effective. The only real effective way to deal with it is to minimize the viral load. So what their plan is to muzzle everyone unlawfully, to abridge your right to free speech on public and private property, because they're saying, oh, it's going to save you. But there's a problem with this. Eliminating the viral load is not the same thing as minimizing the viral load, right? Minimizing, eliminating, two different things. Because 71% of people who test positive, they wore masks everywhere. And it's because they got COVID before the other person knew they were infected. They got it from somebody they knew. They were just talking to them, and then they inhaled stuff through the nose, and then it went through there's a very interesting article about the supercomputer simulations for the SARS-CoV-2. And we're going to go through that on Real Simple News with Science. It's in my other YouTube channel that is just about to launch. So keep an eye out for Real Simple News with Science, because I debunk science myths. It's kind of like a Mythbuster thing, and then Science News. And then, so hold on. So the best thing to do is, if you are older, or if you're overweight or have a cancer or something, is for you to wear a mask, and then for the other people to not wear a mask, because you're going to get it anyways. So you want to minimize that viral load when you get it, and you can't do that when you eliminate the viral load. And then that causes 11% of the people to seriously want to kill themselves. And then really bad things happen.
What is wrong with you?
Was that it? I'm kind of confused what happened to the video. It was just that short, right?
All of you, back
Rewatch it again.
Stay back.
Yapping with the mask.
I don't care if it says press or not. You stay back. Stop. Break it up. What are you doing? Break it up. Put that down. Put that down. I didn't tell you. Put that down. What is wrong with you?
Here's the, yeah, this is the video I wanted to watch. Yeah, this is the one. All right.
All right, baby. We're here for freedom.
Freedom ring.
That's not the same scene, man. There's another scene. There's another angle of that that's like curiosity inducing. See, people think that Oregon's a blue state, and that's because the Democrats haven't pissed off most of the people yet. Hold on, they hadn't pissed off most of the people yet. Actually, most of the people out in the country are hardcore Trump supporters, and inside of the city, there's actually a large amount of Trump supporters. But there's also, in most cities, people will brainwash people by basically, you think that people in the cities are smarter because they have universities or whatever, but like, this isn't true. Actually, fake news flies around the cities very fast. And this makes them actually very stupid. They believe their friend groups will force them to believe things, or else they'll alienate you from the friend group. And then you'll then just start to believe it because. But when you're by yourself, and you are out in the country and you're with a smaller group of people, like, people don't force you to think things, and they don't get pissed off at you for thinking a certain way, or not being compassionate, or not wanting to have like split everything equally with everyone around you like a communist. So in the cities, they're really, really bad about groupthink, about echo chambers. I would not want to mess with that dude. That dude is huge. For real, man. Look at, and he's got fucking biceps too. Like, dude, he would mess me up. He'd be like, boom. And I'd be like, ah. I don't know what was up with him. He got arrested. And I think he beat up one of those dudes. Like, damn. See, Oregon dudes are big. We got loggers. Damn. What did they arrest him for? Let's go look for the they're charged with misdemeanor assault. I think he beat up. Why was he chasing that? I don't know why he was that dude, that big dude beat up that Antifa punk. If you could comment down below, why did the big dude, why did he beat the crap out of that Antifa scabies? Is this another video? Here's a video of the processional.
And God, I hope he wins. I don't know what we'd do if Biden wins. This country would go to hell in a handbasket.
We weren't raised like that. You know, Trump's trying to turn it around. Everybody wants to play the victim. They're not victims. You need to. Everybody builds their own life. You know, and if he's putting fear, there's a reason why. Look at what's happening in Portland because of what they've done. Portland now is a dumpster fire because of letting them do what they want to do. It's over. Trump's going to have to do something about it. That's just the way it is.
Are you concerned about his initial response to COVID?
Absolutely not.
Why is that?
If I was, I'd have a mask on.
Are you concerned about COVID?
Nope.
Why is that?
Because it just doesn't affect me. And if it does, that's what happens. But they've made such a big deal about it that now nobody wants to deal with it.
We actually do have some evidence coming up here pretty soon that the COVID virus was actually man-made.